Hello, I'm Dr. Ogilvy, and I'm going to give you some tips about taking quizzes and exams in Blackboard. Maybe some of you are very experienced. However, I think it would be good if we're all on the same page. So I'm going to begin with the syllabus and schedule quiz, which, by the way, you need to take by this Friday, because if you do not take that by this Friday at 11:59, you will miss 50 points in your grade. So if you haven't done it, it'd be a good idea to get your syllabus and course schedule out and take the quiz. Now when you have read the instructions, which you can copy out and put it in a Word file if you like, so you can keep these instructions handy or this information about the test. And now I'm going to click on the test, and you see it says it's time, 50 minutes. That's all you have for the test. When the time is up, the test will save and submit automatically. However, I'm going to advise you in a moment that you also save and submit it yourself before you leave. Now you can save this test and resume it later, but be advised that the clock is always ticking. So to begin the test, you click here, and just as you begin, the time starts. You see here's a timeline right here. And the first thing you need to do is to read the description, which you've already read, and for the module quizzes we really don't repeat the detailed descriptions here and the information that's before you begin the test, but the instructions are very important. So you've got some instructions here, and it reminds you of the time and will give you warnings. Half the time, 5 minutes, 1 minute, and 30-second warning. So this test you can't take multiple times, but you can save and resume it later. Now when you start answering questions, always click the double down arrows beside question completion status, and it will reveal all the question numbers, and there are white backgrounds. Now I'm going to not purposely choose the correct answers, so I'll just say module 4 here. And then I'm going to go here and say D for 400. You notice what's happening up here. The answer is saved automatically, and it's grayed out. That means that those answers are saved. Now you can go back and change an answer here anytime you want to, and see it'll go back to save answer. You don't have to click on this because it will actually save that answer, which it just did. It doesn't mean you can't click on this, but it's really unnecessary. So you go through the whole test, and when you get at the end, if for some reason you can see at the end or at the beginning, you have a choice. You can save all the answers just to be sure they're saved, in addition to looking here. But remember, if you're going to come back, then the clock is still running. So when you come back, if it's 5 minutes, 5 minutes will pass up here. When you finish the test, which I'm going to do now, say I went to the entire test and I answered all 30 questions, and I save and submit. Now it shows me which questions are missing, but I'm going to ignore that. But for you, if you see a number listed here, it means that a question's not saved. So I'm going to say OK, and it's saved. Now when you finish a test, no matter what it is, we give you the option to review it. So if you click OK here, then you can go back in and review the test like this. Now I didn't, if you got it correct, which I didn't, it will say 1 out of 1 points. It's 0 out of 1 point. So that's the way you review a test. So I'm going to finish this and then go to the next one, which is in the course modules. The first thing I would like to say here is you should have already visited here, and while the video tour at this point is not there, it will be here when I finish this video and post it. But you should download this file, and if it's open in a new window, you will see instructions, guidelines for taking online quizzes exam. This is probably very important for you to have handy when you take these quizzes and exams in the course. So let me go back out of that and back up to course modules, and now I'm going to going into module 1, and I'm going to click on the practice quiz. But again, I remind you, read the information here before you ever click to open a quiz. So let's go to the Module 1 practice quiz. Now, this has no time limit, so it's not here. It can be saved, resumed later, and this test allows multiple attempts. So when you click begin on this, now I had actually taken that test before, so I'm going to click to take it again. But you would see it, and in fact, you know, if you take it multiple times, that's what you're going to see. So here are a description. It tells you that questions 1 to 6 refer to web mic specimens and 7 to 12 refer to virtual slide specimens. Now before you begin this, because you have virtual slide specimens in here, you're going to have to open up a new window or a new tab. Now for demonstration purposes here, and you could do a new tab or you could do a new window, whichever way you can keep the two windows or tabs accessible while you're taking this quiz, because all of the web mic specimens are linked within the question, like here. So if I click on this, it takes me to a web mic specimen in a new tab, because I have my browser set for a new tab each time a window opens. If you set your browser to a new window, or if you right click, if you're a Windows user or know how to do that in a Mac, you can open in a new window, which I'm not going to do here. But for the virtual slide questions, there are no links. What you have to do, you have a question number, right? Identify the tissue between the blue lines in this virtual slide specimen. So where are you going to get the virtual slide specimen? Okay, you have to go back up here and follow the directions. So I'm going to open a new window like it says. I'm going to go to this address, in which I will actually I'll type that in, because when you are in the real graded quizzes, we don't permit you to copy or print the test or copy the questions, and so we have disabled that feature. And if you find a way around it, please understand you're violating the honor code. Okay, so I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to type in that address. I happen to have it there handy, and I'm going to log in, and I'm going to type in vslides at labquiz1, and then the password is m1vsp. And when I do that, then I need to click on the classroom as you're instructed. Click on Module 1 Lab Practice Quiz vSlide Specimens, and then down here under Lessons, and then you have your specimen. So that is the specimen for questions 7 and 8. So you want to click on that, and then you're going to see the some information here that tells you that you can zoom and pan, like you can go like this and enlarge this, and you can move around. And most of the computers and laptops, it'll load a little faster than this, but usually the specimen is resolved in a few minutes. And then for the question, you're also told that a specimen may be used for more than one question. So you need to look down here, make sure you scroll on this little window, the side panel, and see all the questions, and you'll be reminded up here. And so you click on the little radial button to the left of the question number, and in this case you see you have more magnifications. You can go up to 40x on this, and while that's resolving, and you can actually move this around like this, but we try to set the image so that the lines still stay at all magnifications. And then for question 8, you would simply click on question 8. Now, while you can, if you want to go to the next question, which would be the next slide, you can click on next slide. But let me tell you, the safest way is to click back one level to the collection and then click on this. And if a slide does not load, which this one did, you can click on the refresh your window in the browser, and it should always load. So I'm going to and it loaded okay. So that is the way. And then you go back over here, and for questions 7, 8, 9, etc., then for these lab quizzes, all of the answers, whether the web mic or virtual slides, are all type in. Okay? So that's the way you interact with the web mic and with the virtual slides. Now I'm going to briefly visit Module 1 quiz Part A and Part B before I finish this video. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to pause this for a moment and I'll come back to you. Okay, we're going to visit briefly Part A and Part B. So in course modules, and in the first module, then for the first module quiz, Part A and Part B are in this folder. Now it's very important to read these, and after reading this the first time, then you'll get used to all of this eventually. But again, you're welcome to copy this out, put it in a Word document to keep it handy while you're taking the test, just to remind yourself of what we've said here. We don't put them in the test description themselves because it's just too cumbersome. So I'm going to click on this, and then you've got Part A and Part B. And Part A, when I start taking this, again, we're reminded of the time limit and all those things. And then we begin here. And I actually took this test before also, but if I were going to take it again, where I have 3 attempts, then again you got your timeline, and if I click to save an answer, and again here are the web mic questions, click like that, and in this test it's only web mic link specimens, and later on it will be just simply multiple choice. Okay, so no image linked. So half of them are web mic link questions and half of them are just multiple choice. And once again, when you finish the test, always save and submit it, and if there are any question numbers here, it means you need to go back and save any answers you didn't save. So I'm going to go out of this, and then I'm going to go back to the course modules, and I'll go back into the module folder and back into the module quiz, and then I'll access Part B. Now this one I hadn't taken before, so it tells you your time limit and all this information, and you've got 3 attempts to take this. And when you begin, well, I guess I did take it before, so anyway, the instructions that I gave you for the practice quizzes, the lab practice quizzes for accessing the virtual slides in a second window, which this would not be the one, because I would have to log into a new login. It would be vSlides at Module 1 quiz, but it's the same URL. And again, you're not supposed to copy this, so we've got this disabled and the print function disabled. So please respect that. And I think that's about all. Just one more comment about the lab practice quizzes. I'll go back to those and come out of this moment. Okay, so in the module folder in Lab 1, we hope you will use these lab practice quizzes to aid your study of the lab material. It could be very helpful, as well as the practice quizzes in the lectures, which when you access a lecture folder like Module 1 and you access this folder, you're going to find a practice quiz down here composed of all the questions compiled that were at the end of each lesson. So this video now has ended up just a tad over 14 minutes, and I'm going to stop it now and wish you well. Be sure to check into the course. Some of you have not checked in. You need to go down here and mark this reviewed. So good luck, and let's be in touch by email and on the discussion board. Goodbye.